Alright, today we are doing 7-1 multiplying monomials. What is a monomial? The definition says a number, variable, or product of a number and one or more variables with non-negative integer exponents. Yeah, that doesn't make too much sense, so let's just do a couple examples. Couple rules real quick. If you see a plus or a minus sign between the variables or between a variable and a constant, it's not a monomial. And also, you cannot have any variables in the denominator. So let's go here. The number 10, that is a monomial because it's a constant. It's just a number. F plus 24 is not a monomial because it has addition in between. H squared, yes, it is a monomial. It's just a exponent that's not negative, so we're good. J as just a variable or any other letter, that's a monomial because its exponent is 1. Negative x plus 5, we have this plus sign here, so it is not a monomial. 23 ABCD squared, so A times B times C times D squared times 23, that is a monomial because we don't have any plus signs or negative exponents. X times Y times Z squared over 2, yes, because we can have a constant down here, we just cannot have a variable. Like in this case, M times P over N, it's not a monomial because we have a variable in the denominator. So now we have our exponents we need to talk about. When you see an exponent, this basically tells you how many of whatever the base is you're going to multiply against each other. So in this case, we have a base of 3 and an exponent of 4, so 3 to the 4th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 factors of 3. Multiply them together, you get 81. In this case, a little bit about product of powers. If you have a variable to one power times that same variable to another power, all you have to do is add those two powers together. That's product of powers. So here we got 2 squared times 2 to the 4th. So we have 2 factors of 2 and 4 factors of 2. 2 plus 4 gives us 6 factors. So it's 2 to the 6th or 64. That's our product of powers. Make sure there's a couple things you do when you simplify. So I got these rules right here, or the order that you should be doing it in when you simplify. So we have 6n cubed times 2n to the 7th. We need to group the coefficients and the variables. So 6 times 2, put that over here. N cubed times n to the 7th, put that over here. Product of powers says this is just n to the 3 plus 7, so that's n to the 10th, and 6 times 2 is 12. So your simplest form is 12 times n to the 10th. Down here, 3pt cubed times p cubed t to the 4th. So what we do, we group everything. We only have one number here. We have p, which is p to the 1st, times p cubed, and t cubed times t to the 4th. 3 stays the same. Product of powers. 1 plus 3 gives us p to the 4th, and 3 plus 4 gives us t to the 7th. So 3, p to the 4th, t to the 7th, and we are simplified. Now we need to talk about power of a power. And it's basically anytime you see a to 1 exponent with parentheses or brackets, and then another exponent outside of that. All you have to do is multiply these two numbers together. So a to the m, that quantity to the power of p, is just a to the m times p, or a to the m times p. So in this case, we have 2 cubed, that quantity squared, and then that quantity to the 4th. Let's work inside out. Power of power says we just do 3 times 2, so 2 to the 3 times 2, so that's 2 to the 6th, and we're still that quantity to the 4th. Power says multiply them together. 2 to the 6 times 4, which is 2 to the 24th, or 16,777,216. Anytime you can get a number from just a number and an exponent, give us both answers. Now we need to talk about power of a product. And it's basically the same as distributing, but not quite. So we have AB, that quantity, to the m power. It's just a to the m power times b to the m power. So when we have negative 2xy cubed, that quantity to the 5th, we have negative 2 to the 5th, we have x to the 5th, and we have y cubed to the 5th. We're just basically distributing that 5 to all three of those. Negative 2 to the 5th is negative 32. X to the 5th is just x to the 5th. And our power of power says multiply 3 times 5, that's y to the 15th. So negative 32x to the 5th, y to the 15th is our final answer. Okay, a couple things when you're simplifying. When you're simplifying, your answer will be an expression. There is no equal sign. So if you're simplifying and you have something equals something, it's probably going to be wrong. So we have an expression in which each variable base appears exactly once, so you can't have like x cubed times x to the 4th. You got to use your properties to get it down to just 1. There are no power of powers, so there are no more, y to the 4th to the 2nd. None of that. And all fractions are in simplest form. So when we have 3x y to the 4th, that quantity squared, times negative 2y, that quantity squared, and then that quantity squared, or cubed, sorry. Start with our power powers. 2 times 3 will give us 6. Now we have negative 2y quantity to the 6th. Power of product says we distribute this 2 and distribute the 6. So we have 3 squared, x squared. Our power of powers, multiply those together. Y to the 8th times negative 2 to the 6th and y to the 6th. So now we need to do some grouping. 3 squared is 9, negative 2 to the 6th is 64. We'll multiply those together. X squared by itself and y to the 8th times y to the 6th. With these, we add them together and we do some math there. So 576 x squared y to the 14th after we do our product of powers. It's a lot to soak in, but we have a couple days to work on this. Your homework, page 405, 22 through 60 evens, and we'll be doing workbook page 90.